You're listening to the CyberWire Network, powered by N2K.
Enterprises today are using hundreds of SaaS apps. Are you reaping their productivity and innovation benefits, or are you lost in the sprawl? Enter Savvy Security. They help you surface every SaaS app, identity, and risk, so you can shine a light on shadow IT and risky identities. Savvy monitors your entire SaaS attack surface to help you efficiently eliminate toxic risk combinations and prevent attacks. So go on, get savvy about SaaS and harness the productivity benefits. Fuel innovation while closing security gaps. Visit savvy.security to learn more. Signs point to a major cybersecurity event at cloud provider Snowflake. Hugging Face discloses unauthorized access to its Spaces platform. Australian legislation seeks jail time for deepfake porn. CISA adds 2 vulnerabilities to the KEV catalog. Spanish police investigate a potential breach of driver's license info. NSA shares mobile device best practices. Everbridge crisis management software company reports a data breach. N2K's CSO chief analyst and senior fellow Rick Howard joins us to preview CSO Perspectives Season 14, which launches today. And Google tries to explain those weird AI search results. It's Monday, June 3rd, 2024. I'm Dave Bittner, and this is your CyberWire Intel Briefing. Hello and happy Monday, and thank you for joining us. It is great to have you here. A series of interconnected breach announcements involving Ticketmaster, Santander, and Australian ticketing provider Ticketek may represent a major cybersecurity event potentially linked to cloud provider Snowflake. Live Nation, which is Ticketmaster's parent company, reported investigating a breach claimed by the Shiny Hunters Group, who advertised 500 million users' data for $500,000. Ticketmaster confirmed its database was hosted on Snowflake. Simultaneously, Ticketek disclosed a cyber incident impacting Australian customers' personal data, though Snowflake's involvement remains unconfirmed. Australia's cybersecurity minister highlighted the breach's significant impact. The Australian Signals Directorate alerted companies using Snowflake to secure their accounts. Shiny Hunters also posted data from a mid-May Santander hack with customer bank and credit card numbers for sale at $2 million. Hudson Rock initially reported, then retracted claims that breaches at Ticketmaster and Santander involved hacking a Snowflake employee's account. Snowflake serves over 9,000 customers, including major corporations like Adobe and MasterCard. Shiny Hunters claim they bypassed Okta's authentication via a Snowflake employee's ServiceNow account using session tokens to extract customer data. Mandiant's investigations suggest information-stealing malware facilitated access to Snowflake tenants. Snowflake denied platform vulnerabilities or breaches, noting potential unauthorized access to customer accounts from May 23, 2024. Cloud security firm Mitiga identified a threat actor using Snowflake databases with an attack tool named RapeFlake, indicating possible brute force attacks and automated tool usage to infiltrate accounts. Late Friday, AI startup Hugging Face disclosed unauthorized access to its Spaces platform. The breach involved Spaces secrets, which are keys to protected resources. Hugging Face suspects some secrets were accessed by third parties. As a precaution, they've revoked several tokens and advised users to refresh their keys or switch to fine-grained access tokens. Hugging Face says they're collaborating with cybersecurity experts, law enforcement, and data protection authorities to investigate. They say they regret the disruption and aim to enhance their security infrastructure. Increased cyber attacks have been noted, possibly due to Hugging Face's growing popularity. Previously, vulnerabilities and malware issues were identified by security firms Wiz, JFrog, and HiddenLayer. Hugging Face is partnering with Wiz to improve platform security. Australia is introducing new laws to criminalize the distribution of non-consensual deepfake pornographic images. Under the proposed legislation, sharing such images will result in up to 6 years in jail, with an additional year for those who created them. Attorney General Mark Dreyfus aims to address the abuse facilitated by generative AI technology, which predominantly affects women and girls. The legislation will target the dissemination of AI-created sexually explicit images without consent, applying to any form of digital sharing. This move is part of broader efforts to combat technology-facilitated abuse and violence against women. The laws will complement existing protections and involve a review of the Online Safety Act to address related issues like doxing. CISA has added 2 vulnerabilities to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, including a high-severity Linux kernel privilege elevation flaw. Disclosed on January 31st of this year, this use-after-free issue in the NetFilter NF tables component was introduced in February 2014. It allows local attackers to gain root access by exploiting the NFT verdict init function. The flaw was fixed in January 2024, and patches were backported to multiple stable kernel versions. Exploitation details were published in March of this year. CISA requires federal agencies to apply patches by June 20th and recommends mitigations like blocking NF tables and restricting user namespace access. The second vulnerability impacts checkpoint VPN devices. Researchers revealed it to be more severe than initially reported. Spanish police are investigating a potential sale of private information from millions of vehicle drivers after detecting an attempted data breach at the Directorate General of Traffic 2 weeks ago. Suspicious database access attempts were blocked, and an investigation was initiated by the Guardia Civil Traffic Investigation and Analysis Group. The DGT's database holds information on over 27 million drivers. An anonymous user on breach forums claimed to have access to the DGT database and was selling it. The DGT is verifying these claims. Last year, cyber attacks in Spain nearly doubled to over 100,000 incidents, with 130 classified as critical. The NSA has published a handy mobile device best practices report, offering tips to better protect those ubiquitous gadgets. A simple method to thwart hackers is restarting your phone weekly, making it harder to steal information due to many malware packages not having persistence. However, this won't always prevent attacks. The NSA also highlights threats like malicious apps, Wi-Fi networks, spyware, and physical access. It's a nice collection of best practices, easy to share with friends, family, and coworkers. Everbridge, an American crisis management software company, reported a recent breach where unknown attackers accessed files containing business and user data. The breach occurred on May 21st through a previous phishing attack targeting employees. Everbridge, which serves over 6,500 clients, including the U.S. Army and Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, notified law enforcement and affected customers. No ransomware was involved, but customer data, including admin user contact information, was exposed. Everbridge is collaborating with Mandiant and Strauss Friedberg to access the impact. To enhance security, Everbridge mandated multi-factor authentication for all accounts by June 3, 2024. The company, publicly traded since 2016, was recently acquired by Thoma Bravo in a $1.8 billion deal. Coming up after the break, my N2K colleague Rick Howard joins us to preview CSO Perspectives Season 14, which launches today. Stay with us. And now, a word from our sponsor, Zscaler, the leader in cloud security. Cyber attackers are using AI in creative ways to compromise users and breach organizations. In a security landscape where you must fight AI with AI, the best AI protection comes from having the best data. Zscaler has extended its zero-trust architecture with powerful AI engines that are trained and tuned by 500 trillion daily signals. Learn more about Zscaler Zero Trust Plus AI to prevent ransomware and AI attacks. Experience your world secured. Visit zscaler.com/zerotrustai. Are lengthy security reviews pulling attention away from your security program? With the largest network of trust centers, Vanta can help you streamline security reviews to win customer trust, save time, and close deals fast. Proactively demonstrate security by showcasing key resources like your SOC 2 or ISO 27001 and provide real-time evidence for passing controls. And when a security questionnaire is required, Vanta takes the first pass for you. Visit vanta.com/cyber to take a self-serve tour. That's vanta.com/cyber. And I am pleased to welcome back to the show Rick Howard. He is the CyberWire's Chief Security Officer and also our Chief Analyst. Rick, when I am out and about and I run into folks who are admirers or fans of our work, the one question that I've been asked lately more than any other question, it is not, Dave, what stories are coming up? It is not, Dave, can I have your autograph? It is, Dave, when is Rick Howard's CSO Perspectives coming back to the CyberWire? People have missed you, Rick. You've been away far too long. So first of all, why the extra long hiatus here?
So you've run into my mom and my mother-in-law out and about is what you...
That's fair enough. But conspicuously not your wife.
Yeah, conspicuously.
Right.
And yes, we have been away. My only explanation is that N2K engaged in a giant project this last year that not only consumed me, but the entire executive staff. And at some point, we're going to do a podcast about what all that meant. But what it really means, it's been 9 months since we released a new episode of CSOP, and we got to fix that this week.
All right. Well, there's lots of anticipation built up there, pent-up demand. So let's talk about it. What are you covering on your return?
Well, you know, Dave, you and I have talked about this. I've had a burr up my saddle for, I don't know, forever about the SolarWinds breach by the Russian SVR. And not only that it was this most impactful cyber activity, but 3 years later, the SEC, the United States Security and Exchange Commission, decides to make an example of the security team at SolarWinds. And they reach past the board of directors, reach past the executive staff, and specifically the CEO and the CFO at the time, and decided to charge Tim Brown, the CISO of SolarWinds, with fraud about the incident, right? And I have been complaining about that for a long time. I said, how is that possible? Especially when Tim wasn't even the CISO at the time of the breach. He was just the VP of security. How can the SEC make an example of him when clearly decisions were made at the very top about what should be happening? All right. And so, but I have talked to a lot of CISOs about this, Dave, over the last couple of years, and about half of them are outraged like me that how is that possible? But the other half said, yeah, he got what he deserved. So I'm willing to admit that I may be wrong. So this episode is us trying to figure out what really happened and is my rage justified?
Well, in the time since then, it strikes me that even the way that some CISOs look at their own positions within an organization has changed. They're Maybe they're looking over their shoulders a little more than they used to.
Yeah, that's what I think, right? And now we're being held up to a standard where we don't have the protections of the executive staff in a public company. But I would tell you the big epiphany I had here is came up in a lot of conversations at the recent RSA conference just a couple of weeks ago. The financial community and the SEC specifically, they have a language. They have a set of principles that they follow to present the business to the public, and they're called GAAP rules, generally accepted accounting principles. There's about 90 of them, and all the financial community has agreed that this is the way we're going to represent business to the world. The cybersecurity field, we don't have that. Okay, the best thing we have is a framework like NIST or the CIA triangle idea, right? But those two things don't bridge together, and we need a way, the InfoSec profession, to bridge the gap between what the generally accepted accounting principles are and what cybersecurity risk is, and we are just starting down that path.
Who do you suppose would be best suited to lead that charge?
Well, that's really interesting. I didn't know this until we looked into it, but we all assume that financial principles have been around since the pyramid days. Okay, so but that's not really true. After the Depression in the United States back in the 1930s, the SEC got groups together to say we need to come up with a list of rules to make this happen, and they tried 3 different times, failed 3 times, until they got the GAAP rules that became official sometime around 2009, right? And so to answer your question, I don't see any reason why the SEC couldn't get a group of people like me and the FAIR people and the guys that wrote how to measure everything in cybersecurity and come up with a set of rules that make sense for the cybersecurity industry.
And hopefully it won't take 70 years to implement, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, well, let me share the excitement from so many folks who are looking forward to CSO Perspectives' return. Rick Howard, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Every day, your IAM tech debt grows. Your multi-generational services struggle to work together. Building an identity fabric can fix this. It makes all your identity tooling stronger and allows you to connect any app to any service you want to use, with zero coding, zero maintenance, and zero app downtime. Strata's identity orchestration platform separates the identity logic from your applications, so you can optimize existing IAM tools and manage them in a single control plane. Now, every vendor, standard, and architecture work together. In short, building your identity fabric means you can secure your non-standard apps, keep your complex access policies, retire outdated IDPs, and modernize in record time. So build your fabric with Strata Identity and get rid of tech debt for good. Visit strata.io/cyberwire, share your identity priorities, and receive a pair of AirPods Pro. Offer valid for organizations over 5,000 employees. Connect today at strata.io/cyberwire. And finally, in a blog post titled AI Overviews about last week, Google acknowledged the rough week it had with its AI Overview feature, providing inaccurate and sometimes dangerous answers. The AI Overview, showcased at Google I/O, aims to summarize search results using an AI model integrated with Google's web ranking system. Despite claims of effectiveness, it has generated bizarre and incorrect responses, such as advising people to eat 1 small rock per day, or to use glue to keep cheese from slipping off your pizza. Google VP Liz Reed nearly apologized, explaining that the AI Overview is designed to only display information backed by top web results. However, this design assumes Google's page ranking algorithm always favors accuracy over SEO-gamed content, which critics say is a flawed premise, given the current state of Google's search. The AI can still draw erroneous conclusions even from accurate data. Blaming nonsensical user queries for some errors, read highlighted improvements to detect such queries, restrict user-generated content for misleading advice, and filter sensitive topics. Despite these efforts, some errors and fake screenshots continue circulating. Google forgives itself for these mishaps, noting the inherent challenge of managing billions of daily queries. The company insists it learns from errors to enhance search quality. However, this situation exposes a fundamental issue. AI overview doesn't inherently guarantee factual accuracy, merely reflecting the inaccuracies of Google's page ranking results. For now, Google is working to address these issues before a broader rollout, but users might still encounter unusual or unreliable results as the AI search team continues to troubleshoot. It's a classic case of trust us, but don't trust our AI completely just yet. And that's the CyberWire. For links to all of today's stories, check out our daily briefing at thecyberwire.com. Don't forget to check out the Grumpy Old Geeks podcast, where I contribute to a regular segment on Jason and Brian's show every week. You can find Grumpy Old Geeks where all the fine podcasts are listed. We'd love to know what you think of this podcast. Your feedback ensures we deliver the insights that keep you a step ahead in the rapidly changing world of cybersecurity. If you like the show, please share a rating and review in your podcast app. Please also fill out the survey in the show notes or send an email to cyberwire@n2k.com. We're privileged that N2K CyberWire is part of the daily routine of the most influential leaders and operators in the public and private sector, from the Fortune 500 to many of the world's preeminent intelligence and law enforcement agencies. N2K makes it easy for companies to optimize your biggest investment, your people. We make you smarter about your teams while making your teams smarter. Learn how at n2k.com. This episode was produced by Liz Stokes. Our mixer is Trey Hester, with original music and sound design by Elliot Peltzman. Our executive producer is Jennifer Iben. Our executive editor is Brandon Karpf. Simone Petrella is our president. Peter Kilpie is our publisher. And I'm Dave Bittner. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Hi, everybody. It's Maria Varmazes here, your host over at T- Space Daily, and sometimes a guest on Hacking Humans, too. We here at N2K CyberWire work hard to bring you concise, intelligence-driven news and commentary, and we'd like to know how we're doing. Please take a few minutes to complete our audience survey and share your feedback to help us continue to grow and meet your needs. Visit cyberwire.com/survey. That's cyberwire.com/survey to get started. Thanks so much for your input as we reach for the stars. It means the universe to us.
And now, a word from our sponsor, 6sense. 6sense provides award-winning cloud-based automated endpoint and vulnerability management solutions to streamline IT and security operations. With its advanced platform, businesses gain complete visibility and control over their infrastructure, reducing IT and security risks and optimizing operational efficiency. With 6sense, you'll get real-time alerts, risk-based vulnerability prioritization and remediations, and an intuitive automation and orchestration engine so you can focus on your core business goals, confident in the knowledge that your enterprise is secure, compliant, and running smoothly. To learn why enterprises choose 6sense, visit 6sense.com.